Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, June 26th, around 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time 2023. Smoke, smoke, and more smoke. The Canadian wildfires up in Ontario and Quebec are going to be sending heavy pockets of snow into the Midwest in the coming days. From Cincinnati all the way up to Minneapolis, heavy haze should be the norm. But the big story, tornado and other severe weather kill 3, damage homes, and knock out power to multiple states. Keep calm, it's boom time. Severe weather threatens the East Coast with damaging winds and hail. Damaging winds and hail are the main concerns, but an isolated tornado is possible, as well as localized flooding. The full forecast in just a moment. Now on to the tornado. Indiana tornado kills 1 and creates extensive damage. Let's take a look at some of this footage. That is quite a twister. Looks like an apartment complex, perhaps. Just ripping apart there.
Go ahead, go.
Look at the debris field there in the skies. So just a terrible twister. At least 1 dead and 1 injury was reported, and that's good news because this thing looked quite powerful. It came in at EF3, I believe, according to the National Weather Service. There were more than 400 severe weather reports on Sunday, but the bulk of those were wind and hail. And severe storm leaves nearly 80,000 Michigan homes without power, with more storms coming. Here's the power outage map. There are hundreds of thousands without power. The big winner, chicken dinner, Tennessee, with 100,000 power outages. We've also got Arkansas with 94,000, Michigan still 71,000 out, Kentucky 61,000, and Georgia 42,000 power outages, and the severe weather will continue today. Monday brings thunderstorms, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and hail the size of ping pong balls to the D.C. region. And here's the full forecast. Dangerous heat continues for the south. Severe weather potential for the mid-Atlantic. Scattered severe storms may produce damaging winds and large hail across the mid-Atlantic region later today. Rainfall could be locally heavy along Interstate 95 corridor into tonight. Excessive heat continues for Texas and many states across the south where new record high temperatures may be broken. Meanwhile, air quality alerts are in effect for the upper Midwest due to smoke from the wildfires. And we'll get to the smoke map in just a minute. The only problem is they're talking about this heat wave in the south when most of the country is well below average. They're not talking about the purple and blue areas, just Texas and the south on the Gulf Coast, because it fits their narrative. A lot of you know what I'm talking about because you live in most of the country, and it's been cool. Now here's that smoke map. Take a look at this. Take a look at the thickness of the smoke here. This is going to be tomorrow, 7 a.m. Look at that. Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Detroit, all in the dark. Look at that smoke prediction. Madison, right in the center of the smog, as well as portions of Indiana. And I'll just run this through for you. So this is tomorrow morning. As the day progresses, there's noontime, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. commute. It's going to break up. But there will be more plumes coming, specifically to the northeast. See that one headed down there? Yeah, so by Wednesday, we could have a big plume coming into New Hampshire, Vermont, upstate New York, and Maine. Stay tuned for more updates on the smoke map. All the links will be below. Now, places in the U.S. most at risk for extreme rainfall have been mapped. Now, new data from a nonprofit First Street Foundation finds that, well, something is fueling more devastating rains, and it's probably cosmic rays. They claim it's climate change, but because that means nothing, and it is a fantasy and a fairy tale made up by a religious cult, there are other reasons afoot. And it certainly is increased cosmic rays, nucleating more clouds and creating more precipitation opportunities. If you're on the East Coast, you're at the biggest risk. Obviously, the West Coast and the desert, there is lower risk for extreme rainfall, but the Houston area and surrounding area, 8 inches per hour or more in these regions, Heed the warnings of the map. Snow in June, freak weather wreaks havoc on Jasper. Take a look at this. Jasperites woke up to the white stuff coming down hard on Monday as a freak snowstorm created an unusual start to the week of the summer solstice. This was last week up in Canada. Beginning overnight, as much as 40 centimeters of snow started falling through Jasper National Park, creating a flake of bemusement and an avalanche of frustration for drivers. Grand solar minimum much? I do digress. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We did have a flurry of activity out here in the Tonga region over the last 24 hours, but nothing significant. Largest quake in the U.S., 3.1 in Nevada. But all is quiet across the globe. Worldwide volcano news update. We've got Mayon, Fuego, Popo, Semaru, Reventador, Ubinas in Nevado de Ruiz, as well as Sabancaya. Fuego puffing to 15,000, Ubinas to 20,000. What's going on there? Semaru to 16,000, Popo to 21, Ubinas to 23,000, and Mayon to 10,000. Well, Ubinas volcano in Peru, the alert status has been raised. And this volcano is capable of VEI 5 explosions. This one back here in 1082 literally blew the top of the mountain off. So this large caldera on the top is a result of that VEI 5, and subsequent eruptions have been VEI 2 and create smaller holes like this one, or the one that's currently puffing. So Ubinas alert level raised to 3. It erupts quite often at VEI 2, and in the past, VEI 3 and VEI 5. The most recent VEI 3, 1677. Space weather news update. We just had a minor M flare, probably M1, M2 at the greatest. No significant. It was an impulsive flare, so there will be, even if there was a CME, very little activity coming at Earth. Space weather, the KP index sitting at about 2.5 after a slight perturbation the other day due to a shift in the BZ. But overall, the 3-day geomagnetic forecast is quiet on Earth. When will Beetlejuice explode? Well, a controversial new study says soon, and that will certainly be a boom. We've all resigned ourselves not to seeing Beetlejuice explode, but at least one team of astronomers is still holding out hope. If we're going to go see a nearby supernova, then Beetlejuice, the bright red supergiant on the right shoulder of the constellation Orion, is our best chance. But despite taunting us through early 2020, and again with recent brightening, the star stubbornly refuses to explode. More recent studies agree that Beetlejuice supernova won't happen in our lifetimes, but one team of astronomers suggests it could actually happen in the next few decades. Now here's what's earth-shattering about the kaboom. Ask any astrophysicist, and they'll probably tell you that right now in the center of Beetlejuice, tremendous heat and pressure are fusing helium atoms together into carbon atoms. This, unfortunately, is the sad state of science. We make up fairy tales, and we all go along with the story, when in fact, many supernova events may not actually destroy the star. They just may be super flares. But that's for a different show. Now, have you heard about the annoyed janitor that turned off this super cold freezer, destroying decades of scientific work and causing $1 million in damage? Well, I have. A janitor working in a laboratory who was annoyed by an incessant beep reportedly flipped the switch, killing the noise, but also shutting off a storage freezer, destroying decades of scientific work, according to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute lab in Troy. That is such an unfortunate. The cleaner alleged carelessness cost the lab $1 million in damages and 25 years of research. And that is, well, today's Darwin Award. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom.